Tested.
Hi, I'm Will from Tested.com. I'm here today with Sarah from Comic Vine.
Hi, guys.
So we're here today to talk about broken iPhone screens. Sarah recently broke hers. How'd you break it, Sarah?
I was coming back from the grocery store and I was holding one too many things.
Oh no! And the iPhone was what? Did the fly? Did it do like some spins and like was there a slow motion dive for it or anything?
Attached to my headphones, so it was like still attached, sort of.
Oh no! So what we've done is gotten a $50 screen replacement kit from missionrepair.com. I have all the tools that I need, and we're gonna fix Sarah's iPhone right now, live and on camera.
What happens if it doesn't work?
Well, that's kind of a you problem more than an us problem.
Oh man.
As always, trusty screwdriver with adjustable tips, a plastic spudger for this one. I have a suction cup. We'll see how that works in a minute. Of course, the replacement digitizer. It's not a replacement LCD because it doesn't look like Sarah's broken her LCD. It looks like she's just broken the glass that has the touch part of the touchscreen. And as always, my trusty piece of blue tape for sticking screws as I work. And this little guy is a duster. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, you know, iPhones, this is an iPhone 3G. It's more or less the same for a 3GS. As you can see, there's two little tiny screws right by the dock connector on the bottom of the iPhone. So the first thing I'm going to do is unscrew them. It's important to note I left the screen protector on this iPhone because it's holding the glass in at this point. And I'm going to use that tape to, you know, the thin plastic film on top in a minute to help me pop the screen out without having to pick out millions of little shards of glass, which is awesome for me because I'm not wearing safety goggles. The next thing I'm going to do is take my handy dandy suction cup and I'm going to place it on the bottom of the phone, just like so. And then I'm going to lift. Oh, that came out faster than expected. So, phone's out. This part we're not going to touch. It's just going to sit over here and rest. This is the screen. The LCD is this metal thing right here. So the next thing we have to do is actually take that out. And this is the delicate part of the operation. When you're replacing the LCD screen, you really want to be careful not to put any pressure on it or bend it, or it'll end up just like the iPad LCD that I destroyed earlier this year. Basically take the smallest Phillips head screwdriver you have. There's 5 or 6 screws around the edge. Some of them are underneath black electrical tape, so you might have to either punch through the tape or work around the edge. And then there's one more screw up here. This will be the last one we'll do. So I'm going to start up here. Okay, so I'm punching through the tape here. If you want to get fancy, you can peel it back, but it's really not necessary. We've already avoided the warranty on the phone. These screws are exceptionally small, so make sure you have a plan to contain them or they'll wind up buried in the pile of your carpet. Okay, so this is screw number 5. I have one more to go, and we'll have the LCD off. Okay, so the LCD is out. So start in the corner opposite the screw that was on the face. I mean, here's the top screw. Here's where you start. And if you look, there's a bracket that's built into the digitizer in the face that actually holds the LCD into place. So we're going to use our either our spudger or a metal screw. I'm not sure exactly which. A metal screwdriver. And ever so gently spread this apart. What you don't want to do is jam your spudger down here and yank. That's going to do bad things to your LCD probably. So let's see if we can figure out a good, wholesome, safe way to do this. I'm going to look at the screwdriver actually. Ow. Ow. There we go. And then just, see, it just lifts right out. I'm going to take out, because I don't want to get fingerprints on the LCD screen, I'm going to take it out and put it face down on the bag that the digitizer came in so that I don't have any kind of accidents and get fingerprints on the screen, because that would be a real drag. Okay, so we have the LCD outside of the digitizer. As you can see, Sarah's super sturdy screen protector is still on here. I'm going to peel that off now because I need to peel the glass out of the front of the frame that holds the digitizer and then glue the new one back into the existing frame. I could have spent an extra $50 and gotten a repair kit that included the frame and the digitizer already mounted. I kind of wish that I had right now, I'll be honest. But you know, we'll do it the hard way for this one. So I don't really know the best way to get this out other than to just dive in and start pushing. So well, wish me luck. So I've gotten one of my metal spudgers. It's a little sturdier and let me push a little bit more, which seems like it's not a smart idea since I'm dealing with a big giant piece of glass here, but we'll see how it goes. So I've got another spudger with a pointier edge because I found a seam on the edge that I can wedge it in between and hopefully just kind of pry it out. It looks like it's working. That is an unpleasant noise. Okay, pieces of glass are coming out. The hard part is figuring out where the edge of the digitizer ends and where the frame starts, because the frame's kind of delicate, it looks like. So I don't want to get too far into that and, you know, have problems. Oh, there we go. So I got the seam in. It's popping off nicely now. I can hear the glue coming off. Oh, God. Please let that be the glass breaking. Yes, it was. Okay, so I'm just working around the edge, being really careful not to destroy the frame. I hit a stopping point when I got around to the home button, which is kind of a drag. Oh God, that's bendy. The key is just to go real slow, applying just a little bit of pressure and to twist rather than to lever. That helps. You're going to ditch the digitizer, so if you gouge it up a little bit, it's okay. What you don't want to do is crack the frame underneath. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, ta-da! The difference between the version that comes with the frame and makes it really, really easy to do the upgrade on, oops, and the version that I bought for $49 is $50. So by wedging the frame off, this guy right here, I just saved $50 on this iPhone repair. Right now what I'm doing is taking the last few bits of glass out, and naturally they're right near the proximity sensor and the light sensor, so it's a kind of delicate place. And they're glued in, so you have to really get in there and wedge and twist. And you, of course, you want to do it without breaking the frame. Next thing I'm going to do is scrape the glue out. So what I'm doing now is just going through and cleaning up the edges, all the places where there's leftover adhesive, so that I can get a tight seal, and so that it also doesn't show through on the phone when it's done, so it looks new. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is take the 2 pieces of glue adhesive that they provide, the Mission Repair guys provide. But the trick is to get it lined up exactly right on the first try. Because the more you have to wiggle it around, the worse it's going to get, and the less sticky the glue will ultimately end up being. So there's another piece of plastic on top. So what I've done is left an adhesive pad up here. It's all super sticky. So I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. And got this one in. So I guess the trick with this is that you have to push down pretty good so that the glue will come off of the backing. Get it? Yes, glue is left on the bottom. You can see it's all tacky and sticky. The next part is the delicate procedure. I've already folded back all the little plastic tabs so that hopefully I won't jam any underneath the screen when I glue it into place. What I'm going to do now is peel back this piece of plastic really quickly and then carefully but speedily glue it into place in the frame so that I don't get any dust inside the digitizer, between the digitizer and the LCD. Okay, so you want to make really sure that you line this up right, because it seems like the kind of thing that if you mess up is going to be really hard to fix. Oh, I think I did it right. Hot diggity. Wow, that looks almost perfect. Okay, so the digitizer's back in the screen, in the frame rather. The next thing I'm going to do is put the LCD back in. When you're doing that, again, you want to make sure you don't bend the LCD at all. You want to just slide it into place. It goes in a very specific way. Underneath this guy right here that doesn't want to come up. There we go. Make sure the screws line up. Really gently snap it down into place. I'm going to screw the LCD back into the bracket. You can see all the holes line up. It looks right. LCD's mounted. It's back in. Everything looks pretty good from this side. Time to connect it back, drop it into the phone, test it out, and see if it works. There's 3 wires that you need to connect, and 2 of them are really easy. One of them is a little bit tricky. Okay, so I'm jamming the cable in down here. Okay, so I'm going to push. And we're hoping this will lock in place. It looks like I might have damaged this connector a little bit. Not the mechanical part, not the electrical part, so that's good. Then the next one is this guy right here. He just kind of snaps into place. And then there's a third one that's actually labeled number 1 up here in the corner as well. And he'll click into place as well if you can get it lined up right using the Braille method. There it goes. Okay, so that should do it. I'm going to push the screen back into the phone. Being careful around the... Oh, motherfucker. Phone's back together. everything works. Unfortunately, I cracked the replacement glass while I was putting it in the machine. Part of the problem with Mission Repair is that they don't actually tell you how to do this stuff because they don't want to be liable if you mess it up, like I just did. I assume that means you're supposed to probably start with the glass going in this way rather than the glass going in that way, which is what I did, and would be the opposite of the way that you. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm going to go order replacement glass, and we'll be back. In the future to replace it and replace the replacement. And we're back. Since I saw you last when I destroyed Sarah's phone, this time I sprung for the slightly more expensive version that has the frame built in, so I didn't have to scrape all the plastic off the glass. But fortunately for me, the kind folks at Mission Repair apparently messed up and sent me the one with the LCD already attached too. So this should be, if all goes well, I'm keeping my fingers crossed, like a 3-minute, maybe 4-minute fix. I'm going to unscrew the bottom screws on the iPhone once more. And everything pops right out. Beautiful. Broken one, good one. It looks like I can leave all of the plastic that's protecting the screen right now on while I put it back in the case. I'm going to connect first the ribbon cable underneath that seems to work the headset and probably the proximity sensor and the ambient light sensor. Okay, so I'm connecting the second wire now. And the third one snaps into place right up here. I think this is probably an antenna of some kind. Okay, so now everything is hooked in. I'm ever so gently lowering. Starting at the top. Pushing down. So I'm going to screw this back in. The screen's back in. It's booting up, so we'll make sure everything works fine in just a moment. But it looks like mission accomplished. Now, the lesson here is that fixing the broken screen in your iPod or iPod Touch or iPhone probably isn't as easy as it seems like it is when you see it on the internet. I'm pretty good at taking apart stuff for the most part. I destroyed, one $50 screen, had to buy another $100 replacement screen to fix that. In retrospect, it probably would have been better to just pay the $79, send it off to the dudes who'll fix it for you, and let them FedEx it back to you. We're still booting here, but it's a 3G, so it takes a little while to boot. So I guess let's say for Test It, I'm Will Smith, and I'm cautiously optimistic about how this is going to go.